Thanks, Jen. Why is the president going to the Hill today? What has changed in these talks that he believes now's the time to make the drive over there? And what is his message to House Democrats?
He's going over there to make the case for his legislative agenda, which includes the infrastructure bill, and it includes his Build Back Better agenda. That would be in the reconciliation package. So he wants to speak directly to members, answer their questions, and make the case for why we should all work together to give the American people more breathing room.
Does he expect to walk out of there with agreement, consensus for a vote today on the infrastructure package?
I'm not going to make a prediction of whether there will or won't be a vote. I'll leave that to Speaker Pelosi to determine when she will call a vote. But he's making the case. He believes it's the right time for him to go up there. These are his proposals. These are his bold ideas. This is his plan that he's outlined to not just rebuild our roads, our railways, and bridges and put millions of people back to work, but also to make child care, elder care, pre-K more cost-effective, to address the climate crisis, and he wants to make the case directly to members.
You mentioned a few of those proposals that are in there. Senator Manchin has been calling to means test some of those new proposals. Is that something the president is open to? Is that on the table? Is that the substance of what is being hashed out right now?
I wouldn't say that's the substance of what's being hashed out right now. There's a lot of topics that are being discussed right now between a range of members, including Senator Manchin. I know we've talked over the last couple of days a little bit about this proposal for some means testing. What the president supports and what the president is focused on is ensuring that these plans are targeted toward the middle class, help the middle class, and help middle class families prosper, give them breathing room. And so as you look to some of his past proposals, there has been caps on income on some of his past proposals, some that were implemented as a part of the American Rescue Plan. So certainly, whatever you call it, he's open to discussing that.
Last one. We haven't really seen much of the president this week in public. Is it possible we'll see him? Will his remarks to the Democratic conference be open to the press? Will he make remarks? Will he speak to the American people today about the status of these negotiations?
Well, he's visiting the Democratic caucus, and as you may know, and as the Speaker's office will confirm for all of you, they make those rules. We don't make those rules, and those are closed press meetings. But obviously, there'll be a press poll with him. In terms of whether he'll address the public or speak to all of you, we'll see. We're quite open, and he will make decisions hour by hour. Go ahead, Jeff.
Jen, can you tell us what progress has been made in the last 24 hours or so on these two bills?
Well, I can tell you a little bit about what's happened over the last 24 hours. So, and some of you have been watching this closely, but White House officials, including Chief of Staff Ron Klain, Counselor Steve Ricchetti, Domestic Policy Advisor Susan Rice, Legislative Director Louisa Terrell, NEC Director Brian Deese, have been speaking with leadership and members spanning the caucus daily, moderates and progressives, members of the CPC, the Congressional Progressive Caucus, Blue Dogs, New Dems, and problem solvers. They've been on constant contact and on constant phone calls, and also, as you know, many of those officials I just mentioned, Susan Rice, Brian Deese, and Louisa Terrell, were up on the Hill yesterday from about 3 p.m. until midnight last night, meeting with members, discussing with their teams what the path forward looks like. The legislative team has also made now at least 300 calls, or had at least 300 calls or meetings with members, chiefs of staff, staff directors, and legislative directors since September 1st, and our policy teams have also had dozens of meetings directly with members and their teams. I would say over the last 24 hours, you've seen, obviously there's been the pressure of a timeline, which often can make progress, can crystallize for people what's at stake. What we're all trying to do here, which is to make life better for the American people. There have been discussions about what the path forward looks like, productive, constructive discussions. And as we said last night in the statement I put out, we feel we've made some progress. Those discussions have continued today, and they're continuing as we speak.
And it was that statement that I was referring to. Is
Sure.
there anything more you can delineate about what that progress is exactly?
Well, I think we all know what we're trying to work toward here, right? It's not a state secret. There are a couple of members of the Senate who want to be comfortable with what the Build Back Better package looks like. There are a couple of members of the Progressive Caucus, several members of the Progressive Caucus, however you define it, who want to know there's a path forward on the Build Back Better agenda. what we're working toward is unifying a path to get both of these packages done. As a part of that, and we all knew this from the beginning, compromise is necessary. It's inevitable. Some have come down, some have come up in the numbers and what we're looking at here. That's what the basis of the discussion and some of the basis of progress has been.
Just one quick question on North Korea.